I get passionate about what we do here because I think that you have to believe, and that it all goes back to faith. And the definition of faith is believing without seeing, believing without knowing. And we believe in our kids, we believe in our administration, and as a coaching staff, we believe in each other. We're brothers rumble, but we can rumble, but don't rumble with us, because it's gonna be bad. And that's our mentality. Our mentality is it's us against the world, and unfortunately, that's the mentality we've had to adopt, and a mentality that we've had to pass down to our kids, because it's about, at the end of the day, it's about winning and losing, but it's about doing it the right way. And I think that the way we've done it is the right way. A lot of these charter schools out here find athletes walk in the door, you have success, they come, some inquire about going to the school based on the success. We've had to address it differently. Our kids are different. You know, we get kids that don't succeed at other programs, or I feel personally that those programs have failed them and haven't found a way to teach the kid and to get the kid to work at his highest potential in the classroom. And we're not even talking on the field, because if he can't do it in the classroom, it doesn't make sense to even work on the field, because he's not going to make it there. We push our kids to do more, like I said, and to play as many sports as possible and to keep them busy, because life is tough on some of these kids, and the environments that they live in are not conducive to success. You know, I grew up in it. Give you a brief history on myself. I was born and raised in Jersey City. I'm the youngest of 6 children. My parents are Dominican immigrants. They came here. My dad came in '67. My mom came in '69. We're a product of public school system in Jersey City. I was lucky to be the oldest in high school, go to private school, and was blessed to be in a top 10 program in the country in baseball. Our program won state championships, baseball, basketball, and football, and people did so much for me in that process of making me a man, that I feel like that's my obligation now, is to give back and to give back to these kids the same way I was given to myself. I grew up in a school very much like Clear Dot. It was a public school. It was not a charter school, so it wasn't as small and intimate, but it was same population. It was a Title I school as well. My school got taken over in 1990, I believe. The state took over the school systems. If you guys have ever watched Lean On Me with Joe Clark, it was the same system. It took over my school system, so it gave us, we were the bottom of the bottom, and we had to fight our way through that. And I think that fight and that, I have a lot of Jersey City in me. It's the home of Ellis Island, the home of immigrants, the home of hard work. And I think it's instilled in me, and I try to instill it in our kids here, because it's the same process. We talk about chopping wood. We also talk about, God's good. And the other point that I want to make is that, hard work pays, and it pays all the time. And just like God's love is always and eternal and unconditional, hard work is unconditional. You put in that work, I don't care if it's raining, sleeting, whatever the case may be, that work doesn't disappear. That work turns into, you'll see the fruits of your labor if you put in enough work and enough time. And that's me in a nutshell. That's my mantra. That's hard work pays. We're gonna outwork everybody else. Don't worry about the work we got to do. Just chop wood every day, and that's what we try to instill in our kids. I did want to go into a little bit about. I know we talked about facilities briefly, but we make this call out there. We're trying. This is why we're trying to expand the program and get people to know what we're doing here a little bit. We're looking for help, and I'll tell you, help. It could come in any way. We've contacted City of Columbia, the county of Richland. We contacted Lexington County. We've contacted the local colleges, and we're running out of space and out of time to put this together for these kids. Our administration has done anything and everything that they can to make sure that our kids have the right equipment and to be safe. Safety comes first in our program. I will say we've had no concussions, like I said. We've had no heat exhaustions in any of the sports that we've played. We've had no arm injuries in baseball. We take their wellness serious. We do a lot of preventative stuff. Our gym classes exist of a little different. You know, we don't, Coach Z puts them through the ringer. We don't put them through kickball, basketball, you know, learn the sports deal. We do learn the sports, but at the same time, we learn about getting our bodies in shape, getting our minds in shape to play and to compete, and more importantly, to eat and rest and do the little things that are important to be physically fit. Through that, we've created these student athletes that at this point are going to start to make an impact on our community through sports and through other things as well. Funny enough, something I can say about Clear Dot, I don't think I've ever said about any other institution or any other program that I've come across, is that we have the top 6th grade student, the top 7th grade student, the top 8th grade student, top 9th grade student, and the top 10th grade student, all playing sports, all on the football team. So it isn't a matter of are you an athlete or are you not an athlete? You're a bat, you're a family, your family here. And if you're a bat, you're going to compete, and you're going to compete at the highest level. We're going to expect it of you. We're going to drive you to that. And it doesn't matter if you're an athlete or not, because Coach Z and the rest of the coaching staff here, they're making athletes, making them. Now, do we have athletes? Yes. Are they prepared for the game that we have in front of them? No. But on a daily basis, we grind to reach that goal of having them, embrace what they're learning and embrace the mental side of sports, and embracing how that will affect you in life in the future. The competitive nature, the teamwork, the time management, the risk assessment that happens in sports on a daily basis is something that's going to translate into life in the future. And that's our goal at the end of the day. We want to make the best student athletes humanly possible. Eventually, hopefully, we could get a lot of these kids into college. And we're not, a lot of schools will tell you they're going to get a kid into college because they're the best program, they have the best coaches, they have this, that, or the other. We want to get our kids into college because it's the best thing for them, be it through academics, athletics, or any other way, to get them to better themselves as people is what we strive for. And the purpose of our program is to push these kids and give them opportunities that otherwise they wouldn't have. Interesting, and I'm going to cover this briefly. Last year we started a sailing program. I don't know of another Title I school in the country that has a sailing program, and we do here at Clear Dot. We partnered with U.S. Sailing and with Columbia Sailing Club to make it possible for our kids to compete even at that level. And it's interesting because it's the same kids that want to play defensive line, want to be on the sailing team, the same kid that wants to be quarterback wants to be on the sailing team. And so I think that the culture that we've created as coaches and as an administration here is one in which our kids aren't scared to compete. Our kids aren't scared to try something different. Our kids aren't scared to not be prepared and to go out there and fight. And at times in life, that's kind of the skills you need. This year's football schedule, we're working on still. It's a work in progress. This year has become the toughest year to schedule because of a lot of the controversy that's happening with these charter schools and how people want competitive balance. The way we address competitive balance is to try and get games against the top teams and the top programs in the state. Last year, Coach looked at me strange when I told him that we reached out to Dorman and we reached out to Rock Hill and we reached out to Dutch Fork and these places. Dutch Fork was the first one to put us on the schedule last year. This year, we're fighting to get them on the schedule this year. I think it was monumental for our kids to play at that level. I think back to that game, and we were the JV game that week. Dutch Fork at the time was a top 25 program in the country, and they were playing a top 5 team in the country in St. Joseph's. St. Francis out of Baltimore. They were a top 10 team in the country that week that they played, and that was the week that we played them as well. So yeah, it put our kids on a big stage, knowing college scouts were there to watch these other kids at these other games, and knowing that our team competed for what? The whole game, till the last minute of the game. Yes, were we outmatched? Yes. Were we outnumbered? Yes. Were we outhearted? No. No. Our kids have enough heart, enough passion, enough fight. We could have played 2 more quarters. Probably not. A lot of people told us that was a bad decision to schedule that game and to play that level of competition. But we know our kids, and we know what our kids need, and we know how talented our kids are, and that we believe in them. And so challenging them on that level was pretty normal for us. It wasn't fearful. We knew that it was going to be a tough challenge, yes, but we knew that our kids would step up to the challenge. We knew our kids were prepared for the level of play. And yes, they were playing up. Yes, there were some other kids that were a little more game savvy at that time. But we did everything that we can to prepare them for that game. And if we played the second half as we played the first half, it would have been a different outcome, in my opinion.